we're going to be making sausages and waffles next, but I wanted to show you the sweet potato cornmeal sandwich loaves. Let me get them to you. Here they are, and as you can see, they became beautiful loaves, didn't they? Very nice. Okay, I have 1 pound of breakfast sausage here. I showed you how to make this, so I don't need to show you a second time. I'm going to put some oil in the pan here. Frying pan, we're going to have to fry these up now. Because they're not in casings, we used to have them as patties. I'm sure the older generation will remember that. If you're in the country, you probably still do that sometimes when you don't have casings for it, which I understand. Okay, let me put this here. So we're going to be making little patties out of these things. I'm sorry that things are running really crazy right now for me. I'm just going to let that heat up and make patties out of these. But this is what we used to have to do, make small patties out of these things. And that's what I'm going to do here. I remember my mother doing this. So it's something that I know very, very well. So see, you just make them a palm size like that. And they're small. They're going to shrink up, you know. But they smell so good because you can add so much sage to it. And you don't have to have it like everyone else, the way they have it. When we're done with these, we're going to go right into the waffles and make them. No more politics, please. Okay. I know a lot of you go to work. You have other things you have to do. But I have to get this going. And I was really running late today. In spite of being up early, I didn't expect you guys to have so many questions, but you did, so I answered them for you to the best of my ability of how I see things. But I'm sure the older folks would know. Chill, what are you talking about? I am making breakfast sausages the way I used to have them. I didn't have the casing. I have the equipment to put them in casings, but I can't do that because I have no place to clip it up. So I'm making them the way my mother taught me how to make them, small ones. And we just have a lot of things going on today. I put some oil in a frying pan, and I'm going to bring you over. I'm just making these patties right now. And you don't have to make them real super thick. They're going to shrink up anyway to a point. But that's how we used to have these. And women didn't buy them pre-cased or seasoned. They just bought the ground pork. And we had to do this part ourselves. And the bread came out beautiful. What? Oh, farming stimulator. I don't know what you're talking about, please. But this is how we used to have to do them. Okay, so you're hot. Just put a little bit of oil in because you're going to get the fat from here, so you don't have to worry about it, all right? I'm going to get you over there. Just give me a minute. I know, probably knock things over while I'm at it. You can see them. But when you make them yourself, you can actually add more sage into them, and they're much nicer. Thank you. Prab, P-R-A-B. So this is different from probably what you know. Your mother probably buys them, or you buy the breakfast sausages. But I like a lot of sage in mine. And just when you make them yourself, if you have the equipment to put them in the casings, you're very lucky. But I like a lot of sage in mine, so I make mine a little different. don't know what you're talking about, Chill. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sin, C-I-N. Remember, I'm only taking the first part of these names, because some of them are difficult. But we're going to be making those waffles. I've got the mixed nuts that I can. I'm going to be using, what is it I'm using? Oh, yogurt. We're going to be making them with yogurt today. Hi. Good morning, Meg. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for being kind enough to watch. For the ones that join, I thank you for that. And for the gifts and talking. And not getting so angry that, you know, we can't talk and have different points of view and stuff, that you ask questions, because I'm sure you want to know something about me. Now I can some applesauce, so I might season up the applesauce and use this to put over the waffles today. So the bread came out really nice. I showed you at the beginning. If you weren't on, you missed it, but if you see this video, you'll see it. Okay. I need my waffle pan. They do puff up like little patties, but they're so good. Like I said, you can adjust it to your taste. Yeah, turn it down. Not everything has to be at a high heat, okay? They do stick though. There's one thing, but they smell delicious because I add that extra sage in, and I don't add sugar into them, which makes it really nice. Yeah, well, we ended up, they were asking me questions about things that I believe, don't believe, and etc. Come on, the fan can turn off on that. Well, let some heat out on this thing. But this is how we used to have little breakfast sausages. When I came up north, this is I started getting them in links. We didn't have them in links. They just sold us the ground pork. You had to have the recipe. This is why these old cookbooks are good, because a lot of things you get are pre-made, whereas it wasn't for us. So we learned how to do it. Now I'm going to continue cooking those, but we've got to get this batter going because I've got to get the waffle pan going. I've got a lot of stuff I have to do. Yeah, that's it. Juan, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay? All right. This is on a, we're trying something, so fingers crossed everything's going to work. Okay, let's get that on. I need 2 cups. Okay. All right. I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of oat bran in this. I'm playing around again. My family. And good morning, everybody. Care, Tim, Shane, Steve. Good morning, everyone. All right, we got a 1/2 cup of oat bran. We're going to add 1.5. No, we're going to add We're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of whole wheat. Listen, I'm thinking while I'm doing this, I don't even know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do it. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to need 2 teaspoons baking powder, measuring spoon powder. Now remember, I use homemade baking powder, so I don't use baking soda. So if you're going to make this recipe and you're buying the baking powder from the store, you're also going to have to add a teaspoon of soda. If you make your own baking powder, bypass it. Okay, how much salt do I need? A 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. All right, we got 9 little patties for breakfast sausages, okay? Okay. That all I'm not adding any salt in yet. Okay. These are unsalted mixed nuts that I canned, all right? Which means I'm not going to get this lid off. I'm going to have to try it off. See if my son will wait. Good. I used about, what, 8, 9 different kinds of nuts in this. Yeah, I went crazy in the store buying nuts. It was expensive, but I enjoyed it. I guess half a, well, we're winging it. As long as you know we're winging it, you can sit there and deal with it. Anita, good morning. Amelia, good morning. Lee, good morning. All right, we're going to try a half a cup first. I might be adding more, I'm not sure. Let me turn you down. I'm sorry, I put all the dry ingredients I just gave you and mixed them up in a bowl. Now we're chopping nuts up. Any recipe I give you, you can cut it down to a single serving. All you have to do is know your fractions to break it down. We learned that in school. I don't know if they teach it anymore. I don't know what they teach in school. I don't think I want to know. Get these in here. You stir it around and sort of make a judgment on it. Add some more nuts. I'm a nut freak. Okay. Oh my goodness. If you don't like walnut, you don't have to do it. I like them. You know, I always notice that people sit there and use one kind of nut, or sometimes I want to use a whole bunch of different crazy nuts, you know? Will get to me, but I'll have fun. Now, you have to remember, because I've added whole grain, there is a good chance my waffles might be a little darker. That does not mean they're burnt. It just means that I'm using whole grains, okay? Please always remember that, because people sit there and say, you burned it. No, I did not burn it. It's just that I'm using a dark whole grain, which will make it darker. Okay, I put just about a cup in. And I threw the nuts into the loving. Thank you, Lee. Hi, Johnson. Okay, so we got our nuts in here. I know they usually say add this to the liquid to the powder, but I'm doing reverse. All right, now. All right, we need 2 eggs. I forgot that. Heather, you were sloppy this morning. Yeah, well, I get like that sometimes. Okay. Okay, you know you're hot. That's the only thing I hate about breakfast sausage is smokes. All right, what do I need next? Not adding that. All right. Most people will put buttermilk or sour milk in this. I'm going to use yogurt. 2 cups. So my thing is why not try it, you know? I know I have to get butter in here too. Okay. This is homemade yogurt, so it's going to have a much stronger flavor. I'm going to have to make buttermilk and yogurt again. Don't worry, I have a backup yogurt. I always have a backup yogurt. Shortening. 6 tablespoons. We're using butter instead of shortening. And I am going to put this with the egg. This should be enough. These things should really fluff up with this yogurt. When you make your own yogurt, you're going to notice it's very strong. It's not the mild stuff that you get in the store at all. It's very, very strong. But it has so many cultures it'll keep you in the bathroom. So we need 6 tablespoons of butter. Mine's frozen, so you know I'm going to have to grate it. We're going to put that in the flour mixture. And then we'll get the thing going. So see, now I'm cooking. We were cooking before, but everybody wanted to know other things. The butter's frozen. You can spread it out like this and you'll get streaks of butter throughout it all. I plan to rolling to have a good day. Hi, Johnson. Hi, Lee. Amelia. Amelia. Yes, they're waffles. They're different. I mean, I'm going to throw mixed nuts in it, and I put oat bran in it. You know, I'll try this, I'll try that. If it doesn't work, but everything I've pretty much done has worked. Uh, you know, I might make a simple mistake like forget the almond extract in those Christmas muffins. But they came out all right anyway. The woman was very good. She said, "Don't worry, it'll be all right." I said, "I don't know if it's going to be all right." She said, "Yeah, you got this." Sometimes I don't know if I have it, but I just sit and think while I'm crocheting or sewing or knitting a tapestry or something. I'll be sitting, all of a sudden this idea will come across. Why not? Like I have green mincemeat. I know mincemeat has organ meats in it. Why couldn't I make sweet little pies and take some chicken livers and grind it up or chop it really fine after I cook it and mix it with the mincemeat and make little sweet pies. And this way they'd be getting what they need and I wouldn't have to worry. And sometimes my neighbor gets my food too. And my friends also, women get together and we talk about food and what we can do to make it better. Or, you know, have you tried this recipe? No, I haven't. You mind giving me that recipe? When we share. I couldn't remember one step. And I went through all my cookbooks and I made a cake. And I hadn't made cakes in years. I called my girlfriend up and I said, "Listen, I'm having ABC. I'm missing something." She said, "Yes, you are," because she makes cakes more than I do. She said, "I missed this step." I said, "I thought I was missing something. I just couldn't figure out what I was missing." Sometimes you need your friend's help. I'm beating the yogurt and egg together right now. I want to make sure the egg is thoroughly mixed in here before we turn everything on. We're not going to need this anymore. I want to save these to do. I don't need these. Okay. I know we're doing this backwards, but I don't care. I'm doing it my way. Now, if you want them extra fluffy, I guess you could sit there and take the eggs and separate them and then sit there and eat the egg whites. Okay, now we're going to see how this comes out. Fingers crossed. At least this one will move faster on. Okay, let me put this over here for now. Let's see if I can pull you off of this, because I have you. Okay, Peck, PEC. I'm working on it, having a good day. All right, I have a Cuisinart one, all right. Just letting you know, this is a Cuisinart one that I have it off. We have to Where'd you put it, Sandra? Oh, it's right in front of me and I can't see. You have to put oil on these things. And we're going to brush them. You have to brush all of the grids, top and bottom, this part as well as this. Yep. Getting my waffle pan ready. Make sure you grease the whole thing on the inside or it'll stick on one side and on the other. I think I added too much oil. Well, it'll cook one way or another. Might smoke a bit. Hope not too much. I know most people say heat this thing, but I don't heat it up until I don't even oil it till I get everything together. All right. Let's see. Let's put you at 3. I know you're heating up. Now I only have to grease this the first time and then that's it. Yeah, I think 3 we'll try. Now remember, because I have whole grain, it might be darker than you expect. So we'll put this down. It'll beep when it's ready and then we'll start. Put you this here to make sure it doesn't get damaged. Bring this back over. So as you can see, we have a lot here. I have a big bowl. They say I'm only going to make 8. I'm going to make more than 8. I know me. Now there's nothing I can do till this thing beeps. We have to wait for a beep. The sausage, breakfast sausage is already done. It's right here. I already have this going. Okay. I need this. I'm actually putting some stuff up while we're waiting. For those of you that came on late, here is the bread that we made this morning that took almost 2 hours of us talking and all. So as you can see, it came out really, really nice. Okay, let me see. Okay, so you just have to wait for this. There is nothing I can do now. But I have it set at 3, which is right in the middle. If it's too light, we'll turn it down a bit. But once you start doing it, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Now, I don't know if you have one that's on the stove. I've never used them. This is the only one that I've ever had. I've had it many, many years. So I couldn't even tell you how old it is. Okay. Okay. Go on. I know you're getting hot in there. this has to go in the fridge. Yeah, where are you gonna put it? Oh, I have not that. These. Just keep on packing. Okay, we're getting there. Good morning, Grant. We're actually waiting for the waffle pan to get hot. And then once it gets hot, we can sit there and start cooking. Yeah, it's getting hot, but it's just not hot enough. And we have to hit that temperature so we can get this thing going. Don't you just love it the way it buzzes and lets you know? Now, I don't know how these are going to come out. But we're going to try. I might not get them completely packed right or overpacked, but we'll see. Okay, now we have to wait for it to do that again. Brooklyn, Beverly, you live in Brooklyn. I used to live in Brooklyn. Ireland? Lane? Good morning, everyone. Grant? I might not fill the thing up completely, but anyway, they're going to taste good. I hope. Maybe next week we should sit there and try making a meatloaf with a stuffing. I tried it once. It didn't come out because I didn't have the right size loaf pan to make it. But I'm thinking about trying it again. It's stuffed with spinach and stuff in it. See how it comes out. Red Hook, I am in Staten Island. Between New Jersey and New York. Matter of fact, I see New Jersey right across the river. You know, when my microwaves go, I take the glass out so I can use it. So this thing beeps, these things will be done. And we'll just keep on going. I have to get this because this thing is hot, very hot. Pick them up with my fingers. So we just have to wait now. Hi, Jay, Betty. My day's going fine. I am not getting much done, but I'm trying. Hi, and good morning, John. I'm just doing the best I can. For dinner, I'm creating this recipe. We're having waffles, but I'm using yogurt, mixed nuts, and oat bran with some whole wheat and white flour. So that's what I'm doing. I've already done the breakfast sausage. Jay, hi. I love the way you got the hands up like that. Okay. So we just have to wait for this. I have it at 3, and it is wheat. If it's too dark, I'll move it to 2, and we'll see how we can do. But right now, 3 is my number. Oh, it sounds healthy. It was just something I just decided, and I used butter instead of shortening. but I used frozen butter and I grated it so it'd be like, pieces of shortening throughout it. Because my lard is so hard. God. If I leave it out, it's liquid. I stick it in the refrigerator and it's hard. Like a rock to get. Jay, I wouldn't know how to cook any other way. Somebody gave me a pancake mix. He said, just heat the grill up and put some butter on it and just, do them. I want you to know I burnt every pancake on it. I went to, look, I cannot cook with this mix. It's got, I read it had 2-3 sugars in it. Oh, all right, so I didn't put enough on. Come on. I have to add more. But anyway, here they are. See, I didn't know how the nuts were going to take to it. I've never heard anybody put nuts in their waffles. So this was something I said I want to try. I'm going to try one. Look, I haven't had breakfast. You guys know it. I told you I didn't eat yet. All right. Let's say this gives us more of a solid waffle. Here's the inside of them. It came out. These are nice. They turned out better than I thought. Thank you. And that's all you want, that's all. You'll have more chewing to do. Okay, elevator. My secret, actually the way I cook. There's no real secret to it. This is what I'm showing how to do. If your skin tells you how your health is. It's not makeup. It's none of that. It's what you put in your body. That's why I spend so much time to make sure. That's why I use whole grains. And listen, when I first started, I messed up all over the place. And once you have your health and you use oils on your skin, I told you the stuff I use, you don't have to look old to be old. And you stay strong. You don't have medication you're on. You have your strength. It might be weaker. Like I can't pick up 40 pounds anymore. I can only do 39, which really irritated me. If I see a 60-year-old man, he can't even pick up 2 gallons of milk. My girlfriend watches me carry 4. These are good. The only thing is when you crunch on the nuts, because most waffles don't have nuts in them, throws you off a bit. So you are, as Casey and Adele Davis have both said, you are what you eat. And your health shows through your skin. So as you age, and all the imbalances start coming out in your body, you start aging. And it shows through your skin. So men will grow beards and stuff. Women will sit here and put makeup on, perfume, anything to cover up everything she can. So I used my body and changed cooking from the way my mother cooked to cooking more nutritious. And I wanted to see if this would work. And I didn't know anybody that I could do it to, that I would be hounding them like every day, you've got to eat this, this, and this, but I could do it to myself. And that's what I did. And I think it's working. It really is. But it's hard. I sometimes want to sit there and I'll splurge once in a while. If my son brings in Oreo cookies, I'll eat half a package. And then I'll kill myself for the next week and punish myself for doing it. But it was good. Now he went and bought, which ticked me off, was he went and bought cheddar cheese popcorn. And he said, Mommy, can we make this? I said, why not? So I've got my cheddar cheese dehydrated in the refrigerator. And I said, why did you buy this? He said, because I want it. I said, you told me if I could dehydrate cheese, we would make this. He said, I forgot. I said, I know you forgot. That's why I'm reminding you. Okay. So, in order to help everybody, I decided that I would sit there. I am burning my fingers. I want you to know that. I decided that I would sit there and show you tricks of making your food more nutritious so you could help yourself. Because you get a restaurant, to keep the prices down so that people would come in, you're going to have to charge, you have to buy cheaper. And then they dress it up, the same stuff that you buy, add seasonings, wines, and everything. They're feeding the same thing that you do at your home, but they're not making it more nutritious. So I decided. That's why my husband really was going to open a restaurant for me. And I told him no, not after I found what I had to do and the rules and regulations and all. And I said, dang, I could cook just like I cook for my family and my friends when they come over. But they have a lot of regulations for that. Very discouraging, which causes them to buy cheaper food. And then they dress it up. And if you get a real chef who's doing everything from scratch, you can bet they are going to charge you a pretty penny for all their work. Hi, Professor. I feel strong. But it's really, people don't want to change. They want to buy their Doritos. They still want their sodas at the meal. We have water. Now, if I have something like this, we have milk with the meal. And I pour it. And as old as we are, we will have it. So, I'm careful, but I know my sons can buy what they want, but I'm still going to do what I have to do. And am I going to stop cooking? No, I'm going to continue till I'm called home, and then I will leave, and I hope the knowledge that's left behind helps everybody, and they feel better, and they're not sick as much. Like people say, don't you see your doctor? When I feel like it, or if I need him, but if I can avoid seeing him for 5 or 10 years, I'm quite content. We're having waffles, and I've already made the breakfast sausages. Iowa, I will. Thanks, Charles. Oh yeah, I ended up making a chicken casserole, but I wanted to make it different. So my younger son did not know we were playing around in the kitchen. So I gave him things and he thought this was the original recipe. He doesn't know that I made it up. And it turned out really good. We ate the whole casserole. So, but the mistakes I make is my waffles are not perfect. But they taste delicious, and that's all I'm concerned about. If they taste good, fine. My sons know, Mommy, you'll never get your waffles perfectly square. And they like the way I cook. They feel better. I'm just sorry that I didn't know about medication. If I had just known about medication, my husband would be alive. But I didn't know what medicine did. I learned the hard way. And the hard way is losing my love. Yeah, they do. We have to wait for this. It's the last one. So I've made 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, this is it. This is a much shorter video. We're under an hour. Okay. Okay, I'm all done. I did not make a double batch for us. One is more than enough. Oh, they're all going to come up at once, aren't you? Oh, come on. Come on. I can't pick it all up. I'm going to get burnt. I got all this done. I did pretty good to this morning. And here is our waffles. The only other thing is I think I'm going to do some scrambled eggs. If I had an extra gallon, I would have made cottage cheese with a fruit cocktail. I think would go better, but I don't have that. Okay, so listen, all of you. No, it was standard when my husband bought it. God, I've had this since the 1990s, I think. Sometime around then. I don't know. Hi, Shane. I will be enjoying my day. This makes 6 at a time. I don't know if they come smaller than this or even larger than this. This was the only size I've ever used. My mother didn't make waffles. She didn't like them. It took too much time up with her. So, well, that's her opinion. So listen, taking you down, and I am going to close off. But I want you to have a great day today. Enjoy it. It's like summer out there. We're in the 30s now, okay? So take care. Bye-bye. Yes, I'm sure.